1 love.
Right hand, left hand, and the lefty takes the first point.
Love 2.
If you were to characterize the style of play we see from her, Zhuojia, what would you say, Fraser?
So she uses something a little bit more wacky, you could say, really. She uses long pips on her backhand with sponge, and it's a very disturbing style of play, rhythm-wise. So Kuai Man here will be looking to be aggressive.
Well, her rhythm looks pretty good so far, and her Zhuojia will look to disrupt that.
You have to be mindful where you invest in the speed and spin game. Her Zhuojia's forehand has inverted rubber on it, more typical. So she attacks on that side, and with the backhand she looks to disturb the rhythm, dink it short, change the spin. With the long pips you can turn backspin into topspin and topspin into backspin.
Well, she got a good result there off the edge of the racket of Kuai Man.
4-1.
Talk a bit about the Kuai Man serve, which can be such a potent weapon.
Yeah, she has a pendulum service, Kuai Man. She uses that for the most part. Very subtle variations. That one usually really handcuffs her right-handed opponent. They don't know whether to push, touch, whether it's flickable or not, or even whether it's long enough to wait for an attack. But her Zhuojia dealt with it really well.
Got over the top of that, didn't she? Really well.
Great posture on the balls of her feet, focusing her energy forwards.
Three, 4.
And you can see it's kind of tough to tell how to calibrate your counter or your attack against her Zhuojia's backhand. Sometimes it's a little bit floatier than you may expect, and there Kuai Man brushed a ball that warranted something more driven.
4-4.
So an all-Chinese encounter here. Whoever wins this one, well, it'll be an all-Chinese encounter in the next round as well, as Shi Shunyao waits for the winner of this one.
It's a really interesting section of the draw here in women's singles.
4-5.
Well, if you project further in that section, you've also got the very dangerous Honoka Hashimoto, and you know all about what she can do against Chinese players. We've just seen more evidence of that today.
5-5.
Yeah, she dispatched Chen Qinyi in 3 straight games and could potentially face Wang Yidi again.
Could do, yeah. Wang Yidi up against the Singaporean Zheng Jian.
Six, 5.
Clever play from her Zhuojia. Sometimes she'll invite the opening attack to the opponent so that she can then get her pimples on it. Better there.
6-6.
If possible, the push counter tactic will be better from Kuai Man. If she pushes into the backhand of her Zhuojia, she will get a fairly floaty ball back. Her Zhuojia there trying to generate a bit of topspin, but not that much, not enough to trouble Kuai Man, who switched the direction of play really, really well.
Oh, talking about dragging her opponent round and switching the direction there. That was one, it felt, about 4 shots earlier.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about this in the Schalberg match. Kuai Man knows exactly when not to hit the ball so hard. She knows how to really construct the point, and that's very, very impressive to say that she's such a young player, because a lot of them want to try and attack aggressively and play at that quick rhythm all the time. She's wise. She knows better than that.
Finally takes a chance. It took a couple of bites at it from Zhuojia.
That was an awesome push. Got her on the front foot, abbreviates her stroke there with the compact counter. Great point. Could she level?
Oh, slaps that one long, and it is all square, 8-all, when you consider that Kuai Man actually jumped out to a 4-1 lead early in this one. It's really tightened up.
Eight, nine.
Zhuojia, a study there in intensity facially and in her play as well.
There was this serve that I think you were touching upon earlier, John, that pendulum serve of Kuai Man. Didn't have the desired surprise factor down the line. Zhuojia read it like a book. Oh, this is
10,
genius.
8.
She's got 2 game points, holding the table there and holding her nerve. Remember, Kuai Man's the 4th seed. Another one's under threat here.
Ten, nine.
Oh. She always has that backhand to call upon.
Yeah, it's a very divisive stroke. Look at that one there. She just saw a shimmy in her Zhuojia and went right down the line. Untouchable.
But still, game point for the woman in blue.
11-9.
Look at that
Game
celebration
2,
there.
8.
Little clench of the left fist from her Zhuojia.
1 love.
And again, Kuai Man's not really had it all her way. We were talking about this perhaps off the back of Las Vegas as well and into Yokohama. Is there finally just a little vulnerability to someone who looked like she was so solid?
1
And
1.
maybe, Fraser, just to put that into some kind of context, she plays an awful lot. Women's doubles, mixed doubles, singles. And I suppose at some point you have to have a dip in form somewhere or other.
That's right. And, you know, it's interesting whether it is a dip in form or whether it's just, you know,
2-1.
her opponent's growing in confidence. There's more studyable material of Kuai Man now.
Figuring her out a bit.
Figuring her out, getting to see her more in the training hall. And sometimes I think that she just lacks a little bit of versatility.
1-3.
I think that in the first game, Kuai Man was attacking with too much power and spin too early on. She'd be better off playing sort of 20-30% speed ball into the middle and then driving. Her Zhuojia's been very intelligent, so she's been dropping the ball shallow without that much spin into the middle, and that's made Kuai Man hesitant.
1-4.
Great point, because we've seen a couple of early exchanges here in which she's had the freedom to go wide and really demonstrate her flair there. She was handcuffed, shackled, as you said, in that first game when her Zhuojia got back into it.
4-2.
Kuai Man has an amazing inside-out forehand, but she doesn't seem so confident to pivot right now. She's staying rooted to that backhand side.
Rather than that jumping into it and pivoting quickly. We saw a couple of times there, but her was very clever and really played the ball into her body when she tried that. That's
5-2.
where you feel in the percentages Kuai Man's going to win more often than not.
She has to understand that her Zhuojia has been feeding off her pace. Kuai Man now reducing the pace early on and then adding an injection of pace into the ball a little bit later on. Excellent.
3-5.
Probing play, sets it up with the backhand and then pounces.
She's divisive, she's selective, her Zhuojia. And I love her fighting spirit. 26 years of age, her Zhuojia.
3-6.
Went for it there, didn't really execute. But she looks as if she's got a great head on those shoulders. Experienced. Nothing ostentatious about her play at all.
I feel like
7-3.
in terms of her position in the batting order of the Chinese women, she's in a similar kind of seat to what Honoka Hashimoto is for Japan. You know, sort of 26 years of age, a bit older than most of the teammates, but someone who
7-4.
now is proving that they can do real damage even at smash level. Someone who plays a little bit Or differently to the out-and-out attackers that you usually see making up the lineups.
5-7.
Well, that was a show of aggression from her, Zhuojia. It's a really good point you make that, isn't it? Because we've seen so much power play, we've seen so much attacking play, in particular from the, well, I suppose, the big 4 or 5 that dominated for the Chinese women. Maybe there is room for Hashimoto everywhere, because something different appears to be working at the moment. I hope they're enjoying this.
Oh,
Well, there'd been a hit and hope earlier on there in which Zhuojia virtually gave up on things, but you never do because you might get a bit of luck.
that's mind-blowing. Look at the flight of the ball here. Amazing resilience.
6-7.
Acknowledged the net, but boy, it was that wide backhand.
Tagami is playing incredibly well right now. Of course, he won the world doubles title in Doha with Hiroto Shinozuka. Made history for Japan.
7-7.
There's all sorts of stuff going on in the men's singles draw, isn't there?
It really is.
Loads happening there. Women's has been far more calm in most ways.
And I'll just give a little update as well. Zhu Yuling has just defeated Shrija Akula of India 3-1. Akula, another one
8-7.
of the long pimple players here in the women's singles. And interestingly, she defeated her teammate, the golden girl, Manika Batra, 3-2.
Yeah, and that was a big result. I was talking to Shrija and her coach this morning, and they were really delighted because she had lost the previous encounter in WTT action with Manika Batra.
That's right.
7-9.
And again, the pace from Kuai Man, and we haven't seen much of that. A couple of times early on in the first game, but by and large, her Zhuojia has not allowed that sort of thing to happen.
You know what? It seems counterintuitive, but it's actually a good thing we haven't seen that too much from Kuai Man. Because her Zhuojia is looking to feed off the pace and make things tricky with the long pits.
8-9.
The serve receive is crucial here. You cannot build a house on sand. You could see her Zhuojia there swept in, played a lovely glancing forehand. And puts real pressure now on the 4th seed.
And that
10-8.
backhand again, it's so lovely for Kuai Man to have that to count upon as she has 2 game points to level things up here. Just the quality in that shot. She has the serve as well, so she can really reinforce what she has just achieved. But how about that resistance? Her Zhuojia with a couple of incredible gets.
Well, that's 2 escapes now that will dent the confidence of Kuai Man, who played a beautiful long fast serve, got in with a 3rd ball kill, but somehow her Zhuojia was able to brace for impact and fend it back.
Still game point though. And there,
11-9.
if she was going to do it anywhere, it was out wide to the forehand of her Zhuojia.
She was so good at you know, getting those back on the backhand side, even with the block.
The obvious question is what now? What do you expect?
Well, I think Kuai Man will continue to play the long, fast serves more often. She has to make it a guessing game with the long serve. She could get, you know, quite a lot of opportunities to attack with the 3rd ball.
The powers of recovery of her Zhuojia have been remarkable, but even she wasn't getting out wide to that one.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Look at the side spin on that. For me, she's the best in the world at that shot. The inside-out forehand. Tried it again off the push, but it was tempting to attack, but it was just half long enough and backspinny enough to make it tricky there. Her Zhuojia, a master at setting traps.
Long serve from her. This is really intriguing. I said she wasn't ostentatious earlier on, and I stand by it, Fraser. She's not a very demonstrative player, but boy, she's got a lot of variety to a game, her Zhuojia.
Certainly. She's such a tricky customer. Oh, yeah. I like the intention there, but the killer instinct from Kuai Man coming in, and I think that that kind of shot is what I was hoping to see more of from Chen Yi against Hashimoto. That ability to say, okay, I'm going to finish the point now on this ball with zero hesitation.
Kuai Man is just enjoying a little spell here in which she feels as if she's just got on top of her opponent right now. 3-all on the score though, 1-1. But she's put a couple of balls past her here that will give her a lot of heart.
Oh.
This is a really absorbing match. I think this one could go either way. I think we can talk tactics all day long and wax lyrical about the strengths and the weaknesses of the players, but this is going to come down to, I think, mental strength and presence.
4-4.
They're so equally matched. Different in styles, yes. But as effective at what they do, yes.
She's so good at getting in the back that she's berating herself there, having missed one.
5-4.
But the power is coming from Kuai Man, turning up the heat.
Yeah, she's harassing that forehand, isn't she, early on.
Time out. 5-5.
And while Kuai Man is far more than just a power player, she's brought the heat over the last few points. But her Zhuojia has given herself a chance to go away, think things over, come back again, maybe with an updated strategy, with a patch.
5-6.
So her Zhuojia has been doing a very good job at sucking Kuai Man in near the table. Ultimately, I'd sum it up by saying it is so difficult to get into a rhythm against her Zhuojia, and you really, really need that as the attacker.
7-5.
That's where she's dangerous, dictating, venomous with the backhand.
Yeah, she doesn't normally play the backhand punch all too often, but here in this matchup, selecting it wisely. Wang Yidi, I'd say, the player in the top 5 for China that plays the backhand punch most regularly. But Kuai Man has layers to her game.
8-5, which in the context of a very tight match represents quite a huge lead at this stage of the third.
Six, 8.
But she can't get away because her opponent won't let her.
Look at the difference in footwork between the two players. Her Zhuojia is rooted at the middle of the table. And that makes it tricky for Kuai Man to play a winner off of an angle.
Nine, 7.
That goes long. Her Zhuojia literally holding her ground, but it does mean that she's got to be super fast in terms of those reflexes at the table.
10-7.
Long serve, judiciously applied, and that earns 3 game points for Kuai Man, who, remember, trailed in this match. She can go in front now.
Bet. What? Hidden. Challenge. He. Hidden ball.
No questions asked there. It's her Zhuojia's point.
Okay, so the appeal, the challenge must have been made
Challenge successful.
when we were elsewhere, and then they went straight to it.
That's right.
Big call.
Challenge is remaining for he.
And now she'll have 2 serves
8-10.
at 8-10.
Yeah, and still keeps her 2 challenges.
9.
Still at game point, and a little flash of frustration there for Kuai Man, who's seen a couple of these game points saved.
11.
But not that one, and
Game 2.
even though there was
Kuai.
frustration at the challenge, and even though she dropped the subsequent point, and it was
1-1.
expertly applied. And all you can do with the challenge is look at it in the context of that particular moment and go, yep, she saw, or rather didn't see a ball, and said, I'm going to challenge this serve.
It's a great addition to the sport. And I got a flashback to the Dangzhou Jonathan Groth match.
Please take care that you remove your free arm immediately.
Just explain that one first. Remove your free arm immediately, was the call from Marcus Berger.
So the head, the body, or the free arm can be used to hide the ball from toss to point of contact. The ball always has to be visible. You have to toss it from above the playing surface, behind the back line, out of the palm of your hand, and it has to be no more than 33 degrees off vertical. Those are the service requirements.
2-1.
2-1, Kuai Man. So the warning on serve there for her, who of course was the successful appealer at the end, in that, and also the timing of TTR, Fraser. That's what we're seeing. Tends to happen towards the end of games. Big points.
2-2.
Yeah, it just adds such an interesting element to the game. You can use it because you genuinely think that your opponent hid the serve, or if it was a side or edge, you could use it as a tactic to delay, to get in your opponent's head. Just to correct myself, the toss can be no more than 30 degrees.
Yeah, not 33, yeah. And we've seen that, of course, that comes up regularly. Probably the most common of the TTR challenges. Certainly at the US Smash in Vegas, we saw a lot of those looking at that angle.
Yeah.
And we saw some really tight ones.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen that since maybe the first game. And there are a couple of instances where Zhuojia, who, as we know, does not want to be dragged around, was dragged around.
Yeah, Kuai Man really picking her moments now. Pushing out when she can and then countering.
4-2.
Zhuojia does not want to be in those kind of spots.
She's done really well in this match, Kuai Man. She struggled a little bit early on. And she may not have a coach with her, but if she did, that coach, I'm sure, would be really impressed by what she's done here and finding a way against a really resolute opponent.
That's right, yeah. She's managed to create her own rhythm, create her own tempo, and actually cause hesitation in her Zhuojia's mind.
2-6.
And just now, you feel she's playing with a little bit of freedom, liberated, and perhaps for the first time, her Zhuojia is suffering.
Yeah, that sends a clear message there, that forehand hook. Her backhand especially, for me, has been really, really improved, and I think it just takes a bit of time against a player like her Zhuojia to find your feet.
It's a big run of points, this.
Let 2-7.
Zhuojia changing to the local league style serve.
Seven, 3.
Yeah, because of the circumstances, she's got to try something, local leagues or not.
And she went for the shock and awe factor there, attacking more aggressively with the forehand on the third ball.
7-4.
7-4. But it's Kuai Man with the serve now.
The stance of her Zhuojia, the way she sinks into her haunches between shots, it's very interesting. It really makes the opponent hesitant.
Let.
Because it looks like she's hesitant when she's hitting the ball, but she's not. And that makes the opponent think that they're in a good spot, but yet they're not convinced.
4-8.
Well, whether she's being double bluffed or not, Kuai Man says there's one way to sort that out, and that's to just hit an absolutely blazing, ripping backhand into the corner. So it just feels as if there's been a shift in this match. It just feels as if the woman in red is far more in control of matters right now.
We've seen some of the best young players in the world, Miwa Haramoto, Shin Yubin included, get destroyed by her Zhuojia. So the fact that Kuai Man is on the verge of winning this match shows you that she's really blossoming into a seasoned women's player. She's growing used to the tricks of the trade.
Every facet of Kuai Man's game there, perfect.
Nine, 6.
And still she fights. But Zhuojia with a sense of desperation now, having to force the issue, fighting to stay in this Europe smash.
If her Zhuojia can play balls short forehand or deep backhand, she could get into this, could get back into it. Wow.
7, 9.
She got a big break there. These are desperate moments for her.
Did well to get that one back. Oh, and Kuai Man was so close. You can see a reaction.
Well played, her Zhuojia. The chips are down. She's having to come up with something, and boy, she's delivering. Closing the gap now.
With her back against the ropes, she's just gone, why not? I'm going to swing.
What a time to swing it. 6 of the last 8 points have gone her way as she fights to survive. However, she's still one down.
Nine.
Another big net intervention, and then Kuai Man going for a ball that wasn't there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is an unbelievable bit of improv. What an amazing shallow spin shot from her Zhuojia.
Look how tight it is. Kuai Man just the better server of the two. And she serves now 2 to win this one. There's one. And with that, it's match point for Kuai Man. But boy, oh boy, she's having to fight for everything she gets here. Done.
Game and match.
What a tussle that was. What a high quality match.
Hope
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.